For 19 years, I've been a driver for CityBus, and for 19 years, this has been a very good job for me. I've provided well for my family. It's worked out well for me. I've been treated well. I earn a good living. And for 19 years, the union leadership, different leaderships have told me how awful management is. And I pretty much, blew it off because I'm a company guy. They sign my paycheck, and when they say jump, I jump. In the last week and a half, my eyes have been opened very widely, and without even knowing what the union is doing, just by observing what the management is not doing. And from here on out, when I talk about management, there's two managers I'm talking about: the operations manager and the general manager. Primarily the general manager, because the operations manager is mostly guilty through association. The buck stops with the general manager. And God willing, I'll be here another 12 years or until I'm ready to retire, which is in about 12 years. So as far as the union goes, I fully support the union, and anybody that has not joined or dropped out, I would encourage you to rejoin or join for the first time, and let's be unified in our efforts to get through this really global crisis that we're in. Not just the virus, but our economic crisis that's, we have no idea what's coming. And it's a time of high anxiety. I started working when I was 15, and in 43 years, I've never seen such an egregious example of mismanagement in a given situation where a manager has an opportunity, easy things to decide to do, to implement certain ideas and things at no cost, low or no cost, to protect and mitigate the exposure of the employees' families, the passengers and the passengers' families, and the citizens of Lafayette and West Lafayette. There are things that could be done that are so simple that have not been done. Actually early this past week, I gave both managers a typed note that had some thoughts and suggestions on what to do to discourage ridership, to try and keep people off of the buses. And I got no response from it. So that to date, I've not heard from them. They do not want to talk to me, obviously, or they would have already. And so what I'm doing now is talking to them, as well as everybody else that will listen. The management, in my view, is guilty at best of malfeasance, dereliction of duty, incompetence, and at worst, it's gross and possibly criminal negligence to not do what they have in their power to do, and to not mitigate the exposure of the entire community to a virus that is shutting down our economy and causing so many problems in our future. We have no idea what's coming. No idea. So I want to say what the things were that I suggested to the managers. First, I suggested that they put on the head sign that it flashes to essential trips only. Other cities around the country are doing this, and it just tells the public to stay off unless you really need to go somewhere. Okay. The other thing they could do is they could post what the essential trips are, and it would look something like this, and it would be taped to the back of every seat. Okay. It's not very hard to do. Really. In addition, I would ask that the general manager go onto the local media station and ask the public not to ride the buses. We don't want you on here. When I say we, I'm talking about me, the drivers, and the people who have to use the bus for essential purposes. And there are many people in the community that rely on this bus and cannot get what they need to survive without the bus. So we need the joyriding to stop. So I held up an example of what the essential services are, So I'll tell you what I'm seeing that is not essential. It's not essential to go to the gas station and get a Coke. It's not essential to go to your sister's house because she has the leftovers from the barbecue you had the day before that you shouldn't have went to begin with. It's not essential to go play video games at your friend's house or to use the bus as a day shelter because you're homeless. Stay off the bus. We don't want you here. When all of this is over, we welcome you back. I like my job being able to help people get from point A to point B. Like I said, this is a good job and I plan on keeping it. Why there's been no response from management is just, the only conclusion I can come to is that they, like past union leadership has told me, they don't care. They really don't care about the well-being of their employees, passengers, and the community, because there's no excuse for not doing what's right in this situation. And what's right is to discourage ridership. We need the numbers to be as low as possible. In addition to doing the couple things I mentioned, I suggested that they increase the frequency of the buses, not decrease them. Dilute the ridership with a bus every 15 minutes on specific routes that tend to have heavier trip loads. Yesterday at 9:15 a.m. I had 16 people lined up at the CityBus Center outside my door when I came back to my bus. 2 more got on before any of them got off. It's 18 people. And the automated voice system says maintain 6 feet distance between each other. You can't. You can't have more than 5 or 6 people on here and stay 6 feet apart. And do you not think that if somebody sneezes back here with the vortex blower system we have on these buses that the saliva and the droplets, they call them, are not just all over this bus? Look at this. This is what my imagination says the inside of a bus looks like when somebody sneezes. You know, that's just a depiction of what it could be in there, and quite possibly is at times. You know? So I want to talk about Governor Holcomb's executive order for just a minute. One of my coworkers suggested that one of the clauses in the executive order kind of gave CityBus an out, that it was they don't have to comply with the executive order. But I want to read some other clauses that I found that are contradictory to that, and then I'll try to be quick about this. First of all, mass transit includes transit buses along with a bunch of other categories. For the purposes of this executive order, covered businesses include any for-profit, non-profit, or educational entities, regardless of the nature of the service, the function it performs, or its corporate or entity structure. All essential businesses and operations shall comply with social distancing requirements established by the CDC, including maintaining 6-foot social distancing for both employees and members of the general public at all times. Permitted travel is essential travel only as defined in the executive order, which for the most part it's a little more than what I showed you. Not much. People riding on public transit must comply with social distancing requirements to the greatest extent feasible. Operations, as well as businesses engaged in minimum basic operations, they must take proactive measures to ensure compliance with the social distancing requirements, including, where possible, the following: designate 6-foot distances with signage, tape, or by other means, 6 feet of spacing for employees and customers in line to maintain appropriate distance. So clearly, you know, that's more for a retail business, but some of that could be implemented here in a strategic way. Now, I understand that particularly in larger cities where the passenger ridership is much larger, there's no way they could limit, you know, the number of passengers to 6 or 8 people. In Lafayette, for the most part, our ridership is very down. It's just those random trips where we have anywhere from 15 to 30 people, and you don't know when they're going to hit. So it's even more important for management to discourage the ridership instead of just allowing them to think that it's okay to joyride, because it isn't okay. It's not. Stay off the bus. Okay, so before this video airs, it will have been sent to the following people or groups of people. The 4 street supervisors at CityBus, the operations manager and general manager, the city clerks for the city of Lafayette and West Lafayette to be distributed to the city council members and the mayors, the county clerk to be distributed to the county commissioners, the county council, and the county prosecutor. It will be given to the State Representative Sheila Plinker, State Senator Ron Alting, Governor Holcomb, the State Attorney General, the entire Indiana delegation to the U.S. House of Representatives, and the U.S. Senate. And what I'm asking from those people, my elected officials who always say, we want to hear from you, I'm talking to you as well. Those of you in the sphere of influence of CityBus, particularly Mayor Rosworski, and one entity I forgot to mention is the board of directors for CityBus. If the board of directors is not willing to pressure management to do what is right, then the mayor needs to step in and pressure them. And possibly the mayor needs to replace the board of directors. And if the manager does not want to do what is appropriate and right, then maybe the manager should retire. I don't like saying this. I do not like saying this, but it's reality. We're in a situation, there is no time for half measures, weak measures. This is a time for bold action. Okay? I cannot sit back and keep my mouth shut when I see what's going on. I have a family to protect, and I also have a family to earn a living for. I'm going to be here. Every day that CityBus is operating, I'm going to be working. All day, every day that I'm allowed to. So to management, I'm saying to you first, do what's right. Implement some of these suggestions and show us that you care. Show the community that you actually care about the well-being instead of just caring about the numbers, the ridership. You know, CityBus has $11.2 million of stimulus money at their fingertip. I am confident that any damage done to their budget through all of this lack of ridership can be repaired with some of that $11.2 million. If it can be. And this is not a time to worry about ridership. It's a time to worry about our well-being. Okay? The passengers that I mentioned before, stay off the bus. If you're that bored, I don't know what to tell you, but just stay off the bus unless you have an essential business to take care of, and consolidate those essential businesses as much as possible. Don't go out Monday for your prescription and go out Tuesday for your loaf of bread. Do it all at once. To the public of Lafayette and West Lafayette, if you see this video, I'm asking you to call CityBus at 423-2666 and ask the management to do what's right, to protect you as well as your families and everyone else. To the officials, the elected officials that I mentioned before, again, some of you need to check on this. The Attorney General and the prosecutor need to check into the potential criminal negligence, and the governor's office and some of the other elected officials need to look into the use of the stimulus money. And and then also find out if they are doing what they need to do. And again,